Is your coaching session coaching, a conversation, or an interview? What's the difference? Find out in this video. You've often heard people say that they want to have a coaching session that sounds more like a conversation and not like a kind of a strict follow the Grow model or the Tom's model type of conversation that sounds somewhat mechanical. However, what is a conversation and how is that different than a coaching session? Well, my thought is that it's quite different. While we do want our coaching sessions to sound conversational, what we generally mean is natural, organic, taking on a life of their own as opposed to planned, scripted, stilted, mechanical, and so forth. But what is different about a coaching session is that it is not a dialogue that is just for the sake of having some fun conversation back and forth where we're just talking about blue sky topics or sharing stories or something exciting that's going on. Oftentimes conversations aren't purposeful. They're just two friends or two colleagues talking about whatever's on their mind. And that's how it's different than a coaching session. A coaching session is very purposeful. We have an outcome in mind. We have an objective. It's important, maybe the most important thing that person should be talking about on that day. So while we do want it to sound conversational, we don't want it to necessarily be a back and forth dialogue without a clear purpose in mind. And oftentimes in conversations, people talk about the same amount of time, not in a coaching session. We want the coach to talk much less than the client, right? 70-30 perhaps, 65-35, and so forth. So keep these ideas in mind when you're seeking to have a conversation with your coaching. Very different. What about an interview? Now, you understand that an interview is quite different than a coaching session, so you may be wondering why I even bring this up. Here's why. I have observed coaching sessions where the coach asks the question and the client answers the question immediately without missing a beat. And then the next question comes and they answer again without missing a beat. What's happening there? It seems like there's no pause in between the question and the answer, and then there's also no pause between the answer and the next question. Meaning the coach has been thinking about the question to ask while they're listening to the coachee answer the question, and as soon as the coachee is done, the next question comes. When it's too easy for both sides to ask questions and answer questions without needing any pausing, reflecting, considering, that sounds more like an interview where it's just straight from beginning to end without any real insights or ahas or revelations. So there have been times where I've observed a coaching session and I've shared with the coach that I'm observing and assessing, this sounded more like an interview than a coaching session. And they often wonder why I would say something like that because they're generally so different. And then when I explain, then they get it. So here's the bottom line for you. Are your coaching sessions true coaching sessions, or are they too conversational or too much like an interview? Consider, reflect, assess, and analyze your coaching conversations. Even journal about your coaching conversations if you need to get a better sense of what your conversations are like, what your sessions are like, and if you ever do interviews, what they're like, and how they're quite different. I hope this video has helped you. If you have questions about the content, please post them in the comments below, or email me at michael@bayareaexecutivecoach.com. If you'd like to learn more about my coach training and certification programs presented as a faculty member of the Center for Executive Coaching, please visit the dedicated website, bayareaexecutivecoachtraining.com. The next in-person seminar, which I teach personally, will be coming in the month of April 2023. You can enroll now if you would like to get a head start. Thank you very much.